They call you the happiest sign in the Zodiac. They see you laughing, traveling, and making jokes, and they assume you are bulletproof. They think because you are ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion, and infinite abundance, that sadness simply cannot touch you. They see the party on the outside, but they have no idea about the temple on the inside. They see the fire, but they don't see the smoke that stings your eyes when the wind turns. The truth is, no one hurts quite like a Sagittarius. Because you are a fire sign, you have a pride, a celestial dignity that prevents you from showing weak emotions. You would rather run 1,000 miles, climb a mountain, or start an entirely new life in a foreign land than admit your heart is breaking. You feel that if you stop moving, the pain will catch up to you and swallow you whole. But even the strongest traveler gets lost in the woods. Now we are going to dive deep into the 21 clear signs that a Sagittarius is emotionally hurt. We are going to explore the psychological shadows of the seeker, the philosopher, and the wanderer. We are starting our countdown at number 21, and we are going to journey through the layers of your spirit. But you must stay with me until we reach number 1, because at number 1, I am going to reveal the silent departure, the final chilling sign that tells you a Sagittarius has checked out forever, even if they are still standing right in front of you. 21, the death of the joke. The first sign a Sagittarius is hurting is that they stop being funny. Usually you are the life of the party, the one with the witty comeback and the loud, infectious laugh. You have a joke for every situation, a way of making everyone feel lighter and more hopeful. But when your heart is heavy, your humor is the very first thing to die. You become serious, literal, and oddly dry. You stop looking for the punchline in life because life no longer feels like a comedy. People often react poorly to this change. They rely on you to lift their spirits, and when you stop laughing, the whole social atmosphere feels darker. This isn't just a bad day or a mood swing. It's a sign that your inner sun has been eclipsed by pain. You no longer see the absurdity of the world as something to laugh at. You see it as a burden. You have lost the ability to find the silver lining that you usually point out to everyone else. Psychologically, you use humor as both a shield and a bridge. It keeps people at a distance while making them feel connected. When that shield breaks, it means the wound has gone deep into your core. You aren't just being quiet, you are being hollow. If a Sagittarius isn't making you laugh, or if their jokes feel forced, bitter, and hollow, check on them. Their fire is struggling to stay lit against a cold, lonely wind. 20, the ghost in the room. A hurt Sagittarius becomes a ghost. You might physically be at the dinner table, at the office meeting, or at the holiday party, but your spirit is 10,000 miles away. You stare through people rather than at them. You give one-word answers like fine or okay. You are checked out of the current reality. You are physically present, but your essence has vacated the building. This is a survival tactic. You are trying to process your pain in private, so you pull all your psychic energy inward to keep from collapsing. To others, it feels like you are being rude, cold, or even arrogant. But really, you are just elsewhere in your mind, trying to find the map back to your happiness. You are searching your internal archives for a reason to stay engaged with a world that has disappointed you. You are the sign of expansion and outward movement. When you are hurt, you contract. You become small, dense, and heavy. You try to disappear while standing in plain sight. This mental ghosting is a loud, silent scream for help. You have checked out because the here and now has become an unbearable place to be, and your only choice is to retreat into the vastness of your own thoughts. 19, reckless wandering. When a Sagittarius is in pain, they want to run. This is the flight response in its purest form. You might book a flight to a random city on a whim, or you might just drive for 8 hours in the middle of the night with no destination in mind. This isn't your normal healthy adventure travel. This is escape travel. It is a frantic attempt to outrun an internal feeling by changing your external environment. You think if you move fast enough, the sadness can't catch up. If you cross enough borders, maybe the pain will stay behind at the last one. You become reckless, drinking more than usual, staying out until the sun comes up, or taking physical risks you wouldn't normally take. You are trying to use adrenaline to drown out the dull ache of sorrow. You are trying to feel alive because inside you feel like something has died. This restlessness is a sign that your home, the home inside your heart, is on fire. You are looking for a place where it doesn't hurt, but you haven't realized yet that you are carrying the fire with you. Your wanderlust has turned into wander pain. You are a nomad searching for a peace that can only be found by standing still and facing the storm, but you aren't ready to do that yet. 18. Harsh honesty without heart. Sagittarius is known for being blunt. It's the archer's arrow. But usually your honesty comes with a twinkle in your eye and a genuine desire to help someone see the truth. When you are hurt, that twinkle dies. Your honesty becomes a cold surgical weapon. You say things that are mean, sharp, and intended to push people away as far as possible. You stop caring about the softness of your delivery. You stop caring about being nice or diplomatic. You tell people exactly what is wrong with them because you are tired of everything being wrong with your own world. This brutal truth is a defense mechanism. If you make people hate you or fear you, they can't get close enough to see your vulnerability. It is a scorched earth policy for your social life. You would rather be the villain than the victim. People often react with anger to this version of you. They call you toxic or mean-spirited. They don't see that you are just bleeding out loud. You are throwing truth arrows because your bow is broken and you don't know how else to defend your spirit. You are using the truth to build a wall of thorns around your heart. 17. Obsessive distraction. A hurt Sagittarius will bury themselves in a new hobby, a new book, or a 24-hour work cycle. You become obsessed with anything that isn't your feelings. You become an information junkie. You fill your brain with facts, data, and noise, so there is no room left for emotions to breathe. If the brain is busy, the heart can't speak. You might learn a completely new complex language in a week or watch 10 seasons of a show in a single weekend. You are trying to drown the noise of your heart with the noise of the world. If you see a Sagittarius suddenly obsessed with a random obscure topic like ancient history or quantum physics, they are likely hiding a wound they aren't ready to face. They are using the intellect to outrun the intuition. This is mental flight. You are an air traveler in your own mind. You are flying away from the ground of your current reality. It is a clear sign that the present moment has become too painful to inhabit. So you have moved your consciousness into a book, a screen, or a project. You aren't productive, you are avoidant. 16. The loss of faith. This is one of the deepest and most tragic signs for your sign. Sagittarius is the sign of hope, philosophy, and the big picture. You naturally believe that things will work out, that the universe is inherently good, and that there is a lesson in every struggle. But when you are truly hurt, you become a cynic. You start saying things like, nothing matters anyway, or everyone is out for themselves. You lose your connection to the grand scheme. You stop looking at the stars and start looking at the dirt. This philosophical depression is very dangerous for a Sagittarius because your faith is your engine. Without it, you are just a powerful car with no gasoline. You become bitter about the injustice of the world and lose your sense of wonder. When a Sagittarius stops believing in the magic of life, it means they have been betrayed at a soul level. They have seen something or experienced something that broke their divine trust. They have lost their why, and without a why, the archer has no reason to aim. They become a wanderer who is truly lost, not just exploring. 15. Extreme defensive sarcasm. While the death of the joke is about being quiet, this sign is about being loudly bitter. You use sarcasm to mock everything the government, love, your friends, and yourself. If someone says something kind, you mock it. If someone is happy, you poke holes in their joy with a sharp, sarcastic comment. You are trying to protect yourself by devaluing everything. If nothing is sacred or important, then nothing can truly hurt you. You become the cynical professor who has seen it all and thinks it's all a scam. It is a way of staying above the pain by pretending you are too smart to care about such petty human emotions. This sarcasm is a wall. It is a wall made of sharp, broken glass. You are telling the world, "Don't come near me, I'm already over it." But a truly happy person doesn't feel the need to prove how over it they are. You are using your wit to keep the world at arm's length, so no one can see your hands shaking. 14. Uncharacteristic laziness. Sagittarius is a fire sign, usually bursting with high energy and a can-do attitude. But emotional pain makes your body feel physically heavy. You might stay in bed for days on end, not because you are tired, but because you are uninspired. You might stop showering, stop cleaning your house, or stop answering the door. You lose the will to move. This is stagnant fire. The heat is still there, but it's trapped under a pile of heavy, wet blankets. You feel like the gravity of the earth has suddenly doubled. Every small movement, like brushing your teeth or making a phone call, feels like walking through deep, cold mud. You feel weighted down by the atmosphere itself. People who don't understand will call you lazy or unmotivated. They don't see the war you are fighting just to get out of bed. You aren't lazy. You are spiritually exhausted from the internal battle against your own sorrow. Your fire isn't out. It's just buried under the weight of things you haven't said. 13. Sudden judging of others. Usually, Sagittarius is the most live and let live sign of the Zodiac. You are non-judgmental, open-minded, and accepting of all lifestyles. But when you are hurt, you start judging everyone around you. You become preachy, self-righteous, and dogmatic. You tell everyone they are living their lives incorrectly and that you have all the answers. This happens because you feel out of control in your own heart. By judging others and fixing their lives, you get a temporary fake feeling of superiority and order. You are projecting your own internal self-criticism onto the outside world. If you can point out the flaws in others, you don't have to look at the cracks in yourself. If a Sagittarius starts acting like the moral police or a religious zealot, it's a sign they are feeling very broken or lost inside. They are trying to fix the world's behavior because they feel powerless to fix their own broken heart. They are trying to find truth outside because they have lost it inside. 12. Hiding the eyes. A Sagittarius usually has wide, bright eyes that look at the world with curiosity and fire. You are an eye contact sign. When you are hurt, you stop making eye contact. You wear sunglasses even when it's cloudy or you're indoors. You look at your feet, your phone, or the horizon anywhere but into another person's eyes. Your eyes are the windows to your freedom. If you are hurt, you feel like a prisoner of your circumstances, and you don't want people to see the bars on your windows. You are afraid that if someone looks too close, they will see that the brave archer is actually crying, or worse, that the archer is empty. This physical hiding is very rare for your bold fire sign. You are usually the one standing front and center, leading the charge. When you hide your face, it means the shame of your pain has become overwhelming. You don't want to be seen until you are winning again because you believe your value is tied to your strength. 11. Overindulgence in vices. Because you are ruled by Jupiter, you do everything big. You don't do anything in half measures. When you are happy, you celebrate the most. When you are hurt, you numb yourself in a big way. This could be overeating, overspending on things you don't need, or losing yourself in escapism like video games or substances. You are trying to fill the black hole in your heart with things or sensations. You want to feel something, anything other than the dull, heavy ache of your heart, so you go for the high. You become a glutton for distraction because silence has become your enemy. This excess is a desperate cry for balance. You are tipping the scales because you feel like you are falling into a bottomless pit. and you're trying to grab onto anything on the way down. You are trying to weight yourself down with physical pleasures so you don't float away into the dark void of your own existential dread. 10. Withdrawal from the pride. Sagittarius is a social sign, but you have a pride, a small, carefully selected inner circle of people you truly trust. When you are hurt, you exile yourself from them. You stop answering the group chat. You delete your social media apps without warning. You retreat into a cave of your own making, cutting the ropes that connect you to others. You have a prideful streak that tells you that you shouldn't let people see you in a low or ugly state. You want to wait until you are shiny, happy, and successful again before you show your face to the world. But the problem is the cave makes the hurt grow in the dark. This self-isolation is a sign that you have lost your connection to the tribe. You feel like a lone wolf in a world that no longer speaks your language. You're waiting for someone to come find you, but at the same time, you've locked the door from the inside to prove that you don't need anyone. 9. Paranoid about freedom. When a Sagittarius is hurt, especially by a betrayal in a relationship or a job, they become paranoid. They start to feel like every commitment is a trap. If a friend asks, "What are you doing tonight?" the hurt Sagittarius doesn't hear a kind invitation. They hear, "I'm trying to monitor and control your movements." You become spiky, defensive, and evasive. You push people away even when they are being genuinely kind and supportive. You are so terrified of being hurt again or boxed in that you see every human connection as a potential chain. This fear of commitment becomes extreme and irrational. You might quit a perfectly good job on a whim or end a healthy friendship just to prove to yourself that no one owns me. You are destroying the good, stable things in your life just to prove you are still free. It is the freedom of a person standing alone in a desert, technically free, but dying of thirst. 8. The loss of the future focus. A healthy Sagittarius is always talking about next year, the next trip, or the next big goal. You are the sign of the future. When you are hurt, you stop talking about tomorrow. You can't see past the next hour. The horizon, your favorite place to look, has completely vanished from your view. This short-sightedness is a sign of a deep spiritual depression. You have stopped believing that better days are coming. You are stuck in the now, but for you the now is a dark, windowless room with no exit. You lose the ability to plan, to dream, or to hope. If a Sagittarius stops making plans or stops dreaming about what's next, their spirit is officially broken. They are just surviving the clock, waiting for the day to end so they can go to sleep. They have lost their arrow, and without an arrow, they have no direction and no purpose. 7. Unusual sensitivity to criticism. Usually you have thick skin. You can take a joke at your own expense, and you can handle a tough critique. But when you are emotionally wounded, every small comment feels like a knife in your back. If a friend says you look tired, the hurt Sagittarius doesn't hear concern. They think I'm a failure. They're judging me. I'm worthless. You are raw. Your emotional skin has been stripped away by pain. You are walking through the world with open wounds, and even the slightest breeze of life feels like salt hitting the skin. You overanalyze every text message and every look. This hypersensitivity makes you touchy, moody, and reactive. People start walking on eggshells around you, which you can sense immediately. This makes you feel even more isolated because you realize you've become a burden to others' comfort, which triggers your pride and makes you pull away even further. 6. Fake toxic positivity. This is the most common and deceptive sign for Sagittarius. You perform happiness like an Oscar-winning actor. You post photos of yourself smiling at the beach or at a party. You tell everyone, "I'm great, life is amazing," while your eyes are dead, glassy, and cold. You are gaslighting yourself and the world. You think if you act happy enough, the happiness will eventually be forced to return. But fake fire provides no warmth for the soul. You are performing the role of the happy Sagittarius, so you don't have to explain the complicated, messy truth of your pain to anyone else. You don't want to be a downer. This mask is utterly exhausting to maintain. It is the primary reason for Sagittarius burnout. You are lying to the universe, and the universe is simply waiting for you to be honest and vulnerable so it can actually begin to help you heal. You are hiding your truth behind a wall of yellow smiles. 5. Intense intellectual arrogance. When your heart is broken, you lean heavily into your head. You start using big, complex words to alienate people. You start correcting everyone's grammar, facts, or logic. You act like you are the only intelligent person in a room full of peasants. You become an intellectual snob. This arrogance is a high wall. You are effectively saying, "You can't hurt me because you aren't smart enough to even understand me." You are trying to find value in your intellect because you feel valueless and broken in your heart. You use your brain as a fortress. This is ego defense at its peak. You are inflating your mind so you don't have to feel the emptiness in your chest. But a balloon is very easy to pop with one sharp word, and deep down you know it. You are terrified of someone seeing through your smart act to the hurt child underneath. 4. Forgetting self-care details. A Sagittarius in pain forgets the basic needs of the human body. You forget to eat, or you eat only junk. You forget to drink water. You lose track of what day of the week it is. You might realize at 10 p.m. that you haven't moved from your chair or spoken a word to another human all day. You are dissociated from your physical self. You are living entirely in your head or in the vibration of your pain. Your body has become just a car you have forgotten to put gas in, wash, or service. This self-neglect is a clear sign that you don't value your own physical existence at this moment. You have stopped caring for the temple because you don't like the God living inside it. You are waiting for the pain to leave before you start living again. But the secret of healing is that your body needs you to live through the pain to get to the other side. By neglecting your body, you are keeping your spirit trapped in the cycle of hurt. 3. Irritable fire spikes. You become crabby, combative, and irritable. Small things like a neighbor's loud music, a slow internet connection, or a long line at the grocery store make you explode with an anger that is out of proportion to the event. You have short fuse energy. You are leaking anger because your container is full of unshed grief. Anger is often just grief with no place to go. You are lashing out at strangers because you can't lash out at the person or the situation that actually broke you. You are a fire hazard to everyone around you. You are trying to burn the world because your heart is cold. People will call you mean, aggressive, or difficult. They don't see the crying child hiding inside the screaming adult. They don't see that your anger is just a desperate, clumsy cry for someone to notice that you are hurting and that you need help. 2. Obsession with the past. A Sagittarius is designed by the stars to move forward. Their symbol is the arrow flying into the distance. But a hurt Sagittarius is constantly looking back. You scroll through old photos for hours. You talk about the way things used to be. You are stuck in a memory loop. You become a historian of your own happier time. You are trying to find the exact point where the road branched off and everything went wrong. You are replaying the movie of your life in your head, trying to mentally edit a different ending. This nostalgia is a trap for a fire sign. It keeps you from walking the path to your actual future because you are too busy looking at the rearview mirror. You are a centaur staring at its own tail instead of the forest ahead. You have stopped running toward the sun, and that is the most dangerous place for an archer to be. You are romanticizing a past that you can never return to, while ignoring a future that is waiting for you to arrive. 1. The silent departure, the final sign. The number 1 most definitive sign that a Sagittarius is emotionally hurt and that the bond is likely broken forever is the quiet resignation. Sagittarius is naturally a noisy and expressive sign. You argue for the sake of the truth. You fight for what you believe in. You roar with laughter or anger. You explain your philosophy over and over. You try to make people understand your point of view. But when a Sagittarius is truly, deeply, and finally done, they go silent. They stop trying to explain. They stop arguing. They stop trying to fix the connection. They look at you with a blank face, pack a small bag in their mind, and check out. This is the death of the connection. When a Sagittarius stops fighting for the relationship, the job, or the dream, it means they have withdrawn their fire. They have decided that this land is a dead land, and nothing will ever grow there again. They don't roar anymore, they just walk. They don't give you a long explanation of why they are leaving. They just fade away. Once a Sagittarius reaches the silence, the arrow has already been fired toward a new horizon, and they are already gone in spirit. You cannot bring back the fire once the archer has decided the forest is dead, and it's time to find a new world. If you are a Sagittarius watching this today, I want you to know your depth is not a weakness. Your sadness is not a failure of your Jupiter luck or your fire sign strength. You are allowed to put the bow down for a while. You are allowed to cry. You don't have to be the light for everyone else if you are currently sitting in the dark. The stars are only visible when it is dark enough to see them. You are allowed to be a wounded archer until you are ready to be a healed leader. To those who love a Sagittarius, if you see these signs, please don't ask them, why are you sad or what's wrong? They likely won't tell you the truth because they don't want to feel weak. Instead, just sit with them in the silence. Bring them a glass of water without being asked. Take them for a long drive with no destination and some good music. Don't try to fix their fire, just stay near the ash and keep them company until the spark naturally returns on its own. Before we conclude this journey through the archer's heart, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, I am finding my light. Let's create a map of fire for all the archers who are lost in the dark right now. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring the deep hidden wisdom of the Zodiac. Remember, the archer only pulls the arrow back so that it can eventually fly further than it ever has before. Your setback is just the setup for your biggest flight yet. Stay brave.